Lord Jagannath. Anything else comes to your mind? Okay, you can keep putting that. So Jagannath, of course, most merciful Bhavamurti. Wow, very nice, Lajavanti Mataji. Master, yes, master. He is the supreme master. Yes, wonderful, loving and caring. Okay, very nice. Lord of the universe, Shilpi Mataji. Yes, very nice. So yeah, we can describe him in so many wonderful ways when we think of Lord Jagannath. He extends his hands and calls us to his abide. Haribol. Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Okay, so Jagannath is very kind, very merciful. Love, um, happiness, and king. Wow, that's really nice. Love, happiness, and he's the king, right? Yeah, absolutely. Okay, excellent. Okay. So then, okay, you can keep writing whatever comes to your mind. Now we will see. Yes. Okay. So so before we begin, of course, there are so many wonderful and beautiful pastimes of Lord Jagannath are there. I mean, time won't be sufficient for us to, describe all of those pastimes. And we have been hearing from so many devotees. I would just touch upon a few. But before even we begin, let's remember the beautiful appearance of Lord Jagannath. You might have heard many times, but it's always very wonderful hearing Lord Jagannath pastimes as many times as possible, or even how many times we hear. We can never feel that, oh, I have heard it. It always looks very fresh. So, this very famous king, as we know, King Indradumna Maharaj, he is the so he was a very great devotee of Lord Jagannath, and he wanted to see Lord Jagannath because face to face, that was his desire, that he wanted to see the Lord face to face. And then, so then Jagannath, he wanted to see face to face, and he was always praying. So that time he came to know that Jagannath was actually giving his darshan in the form of Neela Madhava. So then he was very much desiring to see that form of Neela Madhava. But where do I find? So he was not aware. So then he thought, okay, let me send all my Brahmana, devotees, the priest, in various directions. So they would be able to find and they will be able to give that information. So, he sent the priest in various different directions, and everyone went in, but all of them came back, with a very disappointing message that we couldn't really find Neela Madhava. So the king was very, very worried. So then so this was the situation. That time, there was one priest by name Vidyapati. So he was searching and searching and searching. He came to a place where it was like a very hilly area. There he went inside a Sabara village. It is a village of the tribals, and there he actually went to one place. The owner of that house was not there. His daughter was there. And her name was Lalita. She was the daughter of the Sabara king, Vishwashu. So then, so he went there, and then he was staying there for some time. And by the time the Sabara king was back, so then the Sabara king told her daughter that you should nicely look after the guest. So Lalita was serving Vidyapati very nicely. And then Vidyapati saw something very different. This host, which is the Sabara king, every night he would go out and he would come the next day, noontime. And when he enters the house is filled with a very different fragrance, amazing fragrance, a divine fragrance of camphor, musk, that kind of a very special fragrance. And he was wondering, where is he getting this fragrance? Why he's going out every single day? So he was like quite curious. But before that, what happened was, yeah. So then he was curious, but by the time the Sabara king requested Vidyapati, to marry his daughter Lalita. So on the request of Sabara king, he married Lalita, and then he was seeing that this his father-in-law was daily going like this and coming with a special fragrance. So he asked his wife, "What is happening? Your father is going every day and he's coming back with this. What is the special place he's going?" So actually, Lalita is not supposed to tell the secret because that should be kept secret. And but he revealed the truth, to her husband Vidyapati, that my father is going every single night to take darshan of Neela Madhava. And the Vidyapati was in great joy because King Indradumna is waiting for that, So then he was requesting, I also would like to go, and take darshan. But, Vishwashu, the Sabara king, was not happy for that. But then because of the continuous, request of his daughter, he finally agreed to take Vidyapati. But he said that I'm going to blindfold you and I will take you to Nilamadava. So then what happened? He put a cloth and he was taken blindfolded. But his wife Lalita, very intelligently, she gave some mustard seeds to tie, in the cloth, end of this cloth, the Vidyapati's cloth, so that on the way he can he can keep spreading this, putting this mustard seed, so later it will grow and then they can find the direction. So Vidyapati was dropping the seeds on his way, and then finally he reached the hill. And there, this Sabara king opened, the cloth of the Vidyapati. When he opened his eyes, he saw the beautiful, enchanting form of Neela Madhava. He was very blissful. And then he was just dancing and he was singing. And then he noticed the Sabara king said, "My dear Vidyapati, wait. I am going now to collect some roots and forest flowers to worship the Lord." So he was waiting there. That time he saw something very amazing. There was one crow which was sitting on the top of a tree. And then it was very sleepy and it fell unconscious. I mean, it fell down from the tree into a water down, in a pond. And what happened was, in the pond, it dropped down. I mean, it fell down, but then it appeared, it took a form of a four-handed form, and then it started going, towards Vaikunta. So when Vidyapati saw that, he was amazed. Oh my God, this crow, which is a simple bird, how it has taken this form of a four-handed, Vishnu form, and is actually, ascending towards, Vaikuntha. And he was very amazed and he thought, okay, let me also drown and go back to Vaikuntha. But then a voice came from the sky and said, "Vidyapati, you cannot end your life. You have to go and tell King Indradumna, who was waiting to see me." And then when Vidyapati heard this divine voice, then he decided to go. So then, he told the Sabara king, "Now let me go, so that I have to tell the king." But at the same time, Lord Jagannath also told, the Neela Madhava also told the Sabara king that, "So long I was receiving all that which you gave me with love, the roots, the fruits, and whatever you could offer me. But now I want to accept the offerings of King Indradumna, because he's waiting for a long time. I want to receive the service from him." So the moment Sabara king heard, he became very disappointed. And then he tied, Vidyapati so that he cannot, escape from the house. Otherwise, if he leave him, he will go to the king and then all his worship, will end. So he tied him and then, but because of the repeated request of his daughter, finally he released Vidyapati. The Vidyapati ran towards the king and then gave this wonderful news. Then Indradumna Maharaj became very happy, and then he sent, everywhere. No, then so even then he thought, okay, I'll go and take darshan of Neela Madhava. So then they followed that path, where the mustard seeds were sown, and it became like a little plant, and then they could see the direction. So when they went there, for his surprise, he could not see Neelamadhava. Neelamadhava disappeared. The king became very morose. He thought that, after a long time, I got this opportunity. I thought I'm going to see the Lord of my heart, but I am greatly disappointed. What is the use of my life? Huh? And then he thought, okay, let me give up my life. So he lay down on the, kusa bed, and then he had, fasted, and he was ready to give up his life. So that time, again, Lord Jagannath came and said in his dream, "Oh, my dear king, do not give up your life. I made this arrangement that you will be not able to see Neela Madhava, but you will be able to see me in my Daru Brahman form." So Daru Brahman is a wooden form. And so please construct the temple. And then he gave a lot of instruction. The Lord gave the instruction that on the top of the hill, you construct the temple. And then, you install the Daru Brahman, form of my form in the form of a wood, and worship. So this was the instruction given by Lord Jagannath. So then, he followed that instruction, and then they went, to take the daru, the floating on the coming in ocean. So the daru was floating on the ocean, and now, but he tried so many, he took so many, his armies, people, so many people went, but he was not able to, even touch and bring the daru form. It was so heavy also. Then he prayed to the Lord, and the Lord said that, call my servant, the Sabara, the king. And then when the Sabara king came, and Vidyapati also came. And then the Lord said, keep a golden chariot and call the Sabara king, and then I will be ascending to this chariot. So similarly, he followed the order, and finally, the Lord seated on that chariot, and then he was brought to the palace. So now we need to make a murti. So how do we do it? So he called all the famous uh, architects, who can actually, sculptures, who can actually do that. But then whoever came, whenever they take anything in their hand, that will it will break, and then they won't be able to continue doing the work. So that was happening with all the great people also. So then they were wondering what to do now. So then the Lord himself came as the spiritual architect, and then he came, Um, and then he said that one condition I will be able to make this deity, and that is that you have to give me 21 days. No one should enter this room, and I have to peacefully, do my work. So the king agreed, but on the 14th day, the king was every single day he would go and keep his ears, near the door, and he will see whether, he's able to hear some sound. He was very anxious to see the Lord, uh, because he was full of devotion, full of love. He already missed Neela Madhava. So he was like, when I will see Krishna, that was the mood. So all these great personalities, their mood is that the pure devotees or the great devotees, their mood is, when will I be able to see Krishna? That's their mood. So he was feeling great separation from the Lord. So every single day he will be counting. So on the 14th day, he was not able to hear, the sound of the tools. Some sound will come, right, when they are making, but it was not coming. So he became more anxious, and his wife also said, the queen also said that, oh, is it really they are working inside or not? Is So then he broke open the door, and then he went inside, and what he saw was very, very he was very surprised, because the transcendental form of Lord Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani was not complete. The hands were not complete. The legs were not complete. So the king became very disappointed. He did not see that person who is making this beautiful, farm also. So he became very, very disappointed, and he said that, I think I have become the cause of stopping this wonderful service. So again, he wanted to give up his life. He felt himself an offender. So it is so amazing when we see the life of all these great personalities, that their mood is something completely different. When something is not working, or if anything is not happening as per the will or as per their desire, the immediate thing what they feel is that they feel themselves an offenders. They don't offend anyone, nor they actually find fault in anyone. Rather, they see that I think I am the one. That's a very great mood. So, and we see here King Indradumna being such a wonderful devotee. He was feeling that, oh, I have offended the Lord. So, what did he do? So he said that the only punishment he wanted to give punishment for his own self. Okay, let me give up my life. What else? What else I can do? And then what happened? He was kind of fasting, and he was lying down, praying to the Lord to give up his life. Then the Lord said, no, 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 it is not your fault. It is my desire that I have to appear in this form. So that's why I inspired you to do this. So don't worry. And very beautiful words of the Lord. I will just say a few this thing on that. The Lord says that mm, one whose eyes are anointed with love, they will be able to see me as the Supreme Lord, will be able to see me in the same form as Shyama Sundara, who is holding a flute. And the Lord said, my limbs are the best of all the ornaments, or the ornaments of the ornaments. And the Lord said, if you still wish, you can sometimes put gold or silver ornaments and decorate me as you like. But this is my desire that I have to come in this form. So then Indradumna Maharaj became very pacified. Mm. So we see that in the Esopanishad also, we see this very beautiful verse comes up. And it says that without legs and hands, he moves and accepts. Without eyes, he sees, and without ears, he hears. He knows all that is knowable, but no one knows him. They call him the original Supreme Person. So, it looks like the Lord do not have a leg, but he moves around. In the Rath cart also he comes out and he travels everywhere. And it looks like he's not having hands, but he's accepting every single day Chapan Bhoga. In Jagannath Puri temple, 8 times they do the offering of Chapan Bhog, which is 56 items. So in that way, the Lord Jagannath actually manifested this beautiful form. But very interesting is that the king Indradumna Maharaj, he was desiring that once a temple was constructed, he desired that Lord Brahma should come down, and actually he should do this prana pratishtha of the deities. So he actually went to Brahmaloka. Just imagine the potency of Indradumna Maharaj, not just a normal king. Hmm. A very, very empowered, very special, a very devoted king of Lord Jagannath, that he could even travel to Brahmaloka. So he went to Brahmaloka to invite Lord Brahmaji, to come and do this special ceremony. And then when he went to Brahmaloka, by the time in Bhuloka, so many years have already passed. So there were already one king, he came and he became a ruler, and then he finished his time, and then the next king also came. But by the time what happened, this entire, the temple, because of the sand from the shore, it got covered. The temple was covered with sand. Then one king came, his name was Gala Madhava. And then he actually came and, renovated, or, restored the temple, to back to his form. And then he claimed that he constructed the temple. So then what happened in that time? During that time, King Indradumna Maharaj came back. So Lord Brahma also came on the request of Indradumna Maharaj, and this King Gala Madhava, he actually claimed that he constructed. But because he has concealed the truth, telling that he is the one, actually originally, which was Indradumna Maharaj. So there was one crow, which is called Bhushandi crow. That crow was living for many, many ages, very highly, very special soul, this Bhushandi crow. So that crow was the actually like a witness. So that crow said that it was only King Indradumna who actually constructed this temple. The Gala Madhava only restored, but because he did not tell the truth or he has covered the truth, Lord Brahma said, you cannot live in this premises. You have to go and stay outside of the Indradumna Sarovara. So he was asked to stay outside of Indradumna Sarovara. And then it was declared that King Indradumna only did the temple, constructed the temple. And then Lord Brahma, out of his humility, said that, this Kshetra, Puri Kshetra, is a transcendental abode of the Supreme Lord. He's eternally present, not that he's coming now and then he's going and then he's coming. He's eternally present in the Kshetra. So I am not qualified, it is Lord's own abode. How do I do this service? I can only put a flag. So I can, it is a Lord's arrangement. I only, I cannot do this. I am not qualified. But I will place a flag on the top of the temple. If anyone sees this flag, even from a distance, and offers prayers and obeisances, their life will be very successful. Amazing, huh? That just by seeing, even so much of our simple reactions gets destroyed just by seeing the flag on the top of the Nilachal mountain, of the hill. Just that seeing the flag and offering obeisances, once so sinful reactions gets destroyed. So this is so in that way, Lord Brahma was, kind of giving all the benedictions. And then we see this, and then another thing also that, so then Lord Brahma personally did a sacrifice and he established the deity of Nashingadev. When we go to Jagannath Puri temple, if you see there is one Nashingadev, we have to climb the stairs and go. It's a very, very narrow stairs, right? That Nashingadev was originally installed by Lord Brahma many, many thousands of years ago. So that Nashingadev and the raised platform, that is the place where the original sacrifice was done by Lord Brahma. So that is the western side of the Mukti Mandapa in the temple. That's the original Narasimha deity. So in that way, Lord Brahma also came and, did seva, for Lord Jagannath. And then when Lord Jagannath was established, there, when this Murti of this, in the wooden form of the Lord was established, uh, the Lord asked, Indradumna Maharaj, okay, what is your wish? Then the king, he actually asked for a few benedictions. And that was before, he said that the he said to the Lord that this door of the temple should only be open. I mean, my dear Lord, the door of the temple should be only closed for 3 hours. So that's why there Jagannath, is all the time, is not sleeping much like in other places. The resting time is reduced and only 3 hours of a day, the temple is closed. Because the reason being, he said the king requested the Lord that the Devata should also come and take darshan, and the human beings, in this material world, they should also take darshan. So that's why in the late night, when the Lord actually, the Bada Shringar Vesh, in the night when the Lord is given this more opulent, most opulent alankar, that time, and the heavenly denizens, they come down and take darshan of Lord Jagannath. And in the daytime, the people of this world, they can take darshan of Lord Jagannath. So that was one of the requests of King Indradumna Maharaj. And Jagannath replied, Tatastu, so be it. And then he said that, yeah, another benediction he asked was that, I don't want your hands to um, become dry. Your lotus fingers should not get dry. That means it should never become dry. You should constantly eat. Hmm. By the time you eat, and then before it becomes dry, the next offering should be given. And after you eat, again it becomes dry. Before that, the next offering. So that's why 8 times offering happens in Jagannath Puri temple. And Lord Jagannath relishes this Chapan Bhoga. And then the Lord said, okay, what is the last one? He said, what is the personal benediction you want to ask? Then he said that many people will come and claim that this temple will be, ours. Especially when I have a son, or if I have some descendants, then they will say that this is my temple. So I don't need any descendants. I don't want any son. So the Lord said, so I desire to be without descendants. This was the request of Indradumna Maharaj. I mean, will anyone will be able to ask for such a benediction? This is a benediction King Indradumna asked, and the Lord granted that benediction also. So, so in that way, Lord Jagannath also said to the king that um, the descendants of the Sabara king, they should serve me. How they should serve me? The generation after generation, they should serve, and they will be called as Daitas. The Daitas are the people who are coming in the generation of the Sabara king, the tribal generations. And the Vidyapati, remember the Vidyapati who actually got darshan, who married the Sabara king's daughter. So Vidyapati actually married the Sabara king's daughter also, and he married a Brahmana. Vidyapati is a Brahmana, so he had a tribal wife, but he also had a Brahmana wife. So Jagannath said, Lalita, who is a tribal wife of um, Vidyapati, she should cook for me. And her generations, the descendants from Lalita, will be doing the cooking seva. And the descendants of the Brahmana wife of Vidyapati will do the worship, the pujari service, the arati and everything. So the deity worship will be performed by Vidyapati's Brahmana wife descendants, and Sabara wife's the tribal wife descendants will be doing the cooking, and the king the Daitas would be the Sabara dynasty. The generations will be the Daitas. They are the one who actually look after Lord Jagannath when Lord Jagannath after Snana Yatra, when he gets sick. Uh, when 15 days he is not giving darshan to anybody. So that's the time, the intimate, a time the Sabaras come and serve the Lord. So they're so close, so dear for the Lord. So in that way, Lord Jagannath never forgets the service of anyone. So this is the basic appearance thing. And then what happens? It is said that in the Narada Purana, it is said that just by seeing the beautiful form of Lord Jagannath, just by his darshan, what happens? One will be able to come back, return back to his abode at the end of his life. With that faith, if someone is able to go and take darshan of Lord Jagannath. So in that way, Lord Jagannath is delivering everyone from the cycle of birth, death, old age, and disease. So in that way, so many wonderful pastimes are happening in Jagannath Puri. And we see that, before we go to the Snana Yatra, because this Wednesday is Snana Yatra, before that, I would like to say one pastime. So, how Lord Jagannath is the supreme controller. The Lord is a supreme controller, supreme proprietor, and he's our ever well wisher. All right. Bhoktaram Yagnatapasam Sarva Loka Maheshwaram Sugridam Sarva Bhutanam Nyatva Mam Shanti Mrishati. This is a verse in Srimad Bhagavad Gita where um, Srila Prabhupada says this is a peace formula. If someone is able to understand Krishna is the supreme controller, he's the supreme proprietor, and he's my well-wisher. The moment we actually even think about it, these three important, characteristics of the Lord, automatically a kind of peace, we can feel, we can experience. Say in our life something is going here and there. The moment we are trying to control, right? We try to control, okay, oh, I don't want this to happen like this. Um, like that, we are trying to, do many things to control the situation. But many times we fail when we try to control a situation because we fail to understand that the Lord is a supreme controller. Man proposes, God disposes, right? And we see that. And the moment we take shelter of the Lord, oh, why am actually too much worrying? The Lord is there. At the end of the day, He is a master. He is a supreme personality. He's a controller. He's ultimate controller. I can control to only some degree, right? I am dependent on His mercy. So the moment we see that He's a supreme controller and He's also my well-wisher, He's not someone who is going to, do something which is which is like going to become bad for me. When I know somebody is my well-wisher, whatever actions they do, that's going to be good for me, right? So Krishna is my well-wisher, so why I have to be worried? So the moment we feel, wow, it's amazing. I can be little cool. And we see that the help comes from various directions, or we get that we are empowered with some special intelligence to handle the situation. And we see that, wow, why did I worry so much? See, things are taken care of, right? So that is the thing. But what happens, being conditioned by these three modes of especially passion and ignorance, we forget that Krishna is the supreme controller and we get into great anxiety. And in this material world, no need to actually look for anxiety because every moment that's what happens. If we are peaceful, there is somebody to throw something on your head to become not peaceful, right? So, but if we are going to catch everything what people are throwing or what situation throws at us, mm, then we will be completely bewildered. Rather, we should just take shelter of Krishna and then see that in a peaceful mind. Because when we remember Krishna is the supreme controller and he's my ever well-wisher, then I'll become peaceful. And in a peaceful state, I can think properly. When my mind is clouded, when I am bewildered with emotions, how can I even think properly? We can't think properly. So that is why it is very important. This particular verse is a very powerful verse. This is not just a verse to memorize alone, but in our real life, we can actually put this verse in use. Many times, a person, when really agitating situations, we think about this verse. It actually calms you down so much. Krishna is the ultimate controller. I don't have to worry. He's my best friend. He's my ever well wisher. That really calms us down. And then we think, wow, such a simple matter. Why to worry? Leave it. Or if it is something really this thing, okay, what can I do? How can I actually handle it? It gives us a clarity, it gives us a strength, it gives us a confidence to go forward. So it's a very powerful verse. So here we see how Krishna is how Lord Jagannath is the supreme controller. So there was once what happened was, as I was saying, every night, the Devatas will come and take darshan of Lord Jagannath. I was saying that, right? So one day what happened, all the Devatas came to take darshan of Lord Jagannath, but one person was missing. He was little running late. Like sometimes we are running late to programs. Here, one personality was running late. Who was that? That was Lord Yamaraj. Yamaraj was running late because that particular day so many people were dying and then he has to do the job. So he was running late to take darshan of Lord Jagannath and he was really rushing. He was really rushing to go inside the temple. So that time what happened was he saw a small bird running around, flying around So he was looking at the bird and then he went inside. So this scene was seen by Garuda, the king of all the birds. Garuda is the personal carrier of Lord Jagannath. So Garuda saw Yamaraj is looking at the bird, but he's looking in a different way. So Garuda felt, oh my God, okay, maybe this Yamaraj is putting an eye on somebody means that's dangerous, right? So maybe he wants to kill this bird. Maybe the time for the bird has come. I have to save this bird because I am the king of birds. How can I actually not save? It's my family. The bird is my, this bird is belongs to my family. So I need to save this bird. So what this bird said was, what did he do was, Garuda took this little bird. He flew far off to Himalayas. So Himalayas, the banks of Manasarovar, what did this Garuda do was, he saw one tree, and in the tree there was a hole. There was a trunk. In the trunk there was a hole. He put this bird there, and Garuda being the divine carrier of the Lord Vishnu, in no moment he came back to the temple, flew back to the temple, and he thought, before Yamaraj comes, I have done my part. Now he cannot do anything to the bird. So then, in this meantime, Yamaraj is having a conversation with Lord Jagannath inside. So this night darshan time, all the devatas and they will take darshan of the Lord, and they also submit some reports to the Lord and their concerns to the Lord, their challenges. So here Yamaraj is putting a challenge, putting his concern to Lord Jagannath that, my Lord, you are the one who actually decide what should happen in each person's life, each soul's life. And you have already planned for this little bird whom I saw before. Actually, this bird is supposed to be in Manasarovara at this time. But I could see your, you know, carrier, this Garuda, he is actually protecting this bird in the temple. But only few more seconds left for this bird to die. How this little bird will fly all the way to Manasarovara and will be bitten by a snake? That is what you have, that is your, words. I mean, you have made this destiny for that bird. But I am little puzzled because it's not going to happen. First time, your command is going to fail. So he was saying that I am actually very disturbed at this point. The bird should be there, but in few moments, how is it possible the bird can go back? Uh, then how, you are the supreme controller, and I mean, I don't know what's going to happen now. Is Garuda the controller or you are the controller? I'm really worried now. And then Lord Jagannath smiled and said, don't worry, everything will happen as planned, you know. But then Yamaraj could not really, understand that. And he was a little puzzled. Okay, anyway, Lord Jagannath says, okay, let me go. So he came out and he was searching for the bird everywhere. And then he asked Garuda, where is the bird? Then Garuda said, this little bird, I know you are going to kill that bird. So I've safely put the bird in that, Manasar, in that, tree, in the banks of Manasarovara, and it is safely put inside a hole. Nobody can touch him. Then Yamaraj said, perfect. Lord Jagannath again proved he's a controller of everything and everyone. Because I was just complaining to him that only few moments left. How this little bird can fly so many, miles away in a very short time to be there in that particular place, to be bitten by a snake. But you have done that, you know. So then Garuda felt very bad. Oh, I myself have become a, cause for this bird's, you know, uh, end. So he was feeling very bad. But here, Then he looked at Lord Jagannath and Lord Jagannath smiled because he is the supreme controller. So in our life also, we have to constantly remind ourselves that we are not the controllers. And even if we think also it's not going to work, we know many times we try to do that and then we miserably fail. So the only thing is to take shelter of the Lord, and then we see that Mare Krishna Rake Krishna Mare Ke. If Krishna wants to save someone, no one can kill that person. And if Krishna wants to kill someone, no one can protect. So we can only put our petition to the Lord for our protection and take shelter at his lotus feet rather than depending on our own intelligence, our own strength, and depending on so many external things, which is not going to really help. So this is one powerful story which tells, which gives us a very deep understanding of how the Lord is the supreme controller of everyone, and no one else can actually occupy that position. Everyone is mini controllers. We also control. In the family, someone controls somebody. The king controls the subjects, the president or the prime minister, the subjects, many times. But ultimate controller is the Supreme Lord. So we have to take shelter of that personality. And he's not just controller, we have to be scared. And he's our best friend. He's our well-wisher. So nobody else can, be well-wisher. In this world, you see, somebody may be well-wisher for some time. You see, in the politicians, if you see, today one person will be in one party. After next year, he will be in the other party. Because why? Because this particular political party today has satisfied my desires. Is giving me what I want, the benefits. So I'm happy to be with this party. But then something happens. Oh, he's not fulfilling the sense gratification. Okay, throw this person and next go to the other political party who is going to, feed my sense gratification. This is the material world. The material world is very ruthless and very thankless. So as long as one derives some benefit from a person, they show all the love, they show all the care. The moment they know that I'm not getting anything from this person, move on to next. Because I am not interested in you, I am interested in what you are giving to me. This is material world. Many of the relationship in this material world is based on this. You scratch my back and I scratch you back. This is the kind of relationship. The material world, unfortunately, this is a real truth. Even in a deeper relationships, to a greater extent, this is there. But still, maybe a percentage, still that kind of love and care is there. But deep down, if you see, somewhere the selfish motive is very much predominant. That is why relationships breaks. Because when my selfish desires are not fulfilled by the other party, why I should hang around with this person? I don't need this person. Or the moment my desires got fulfilled, I don't need this because I was with this person for this reason. Now I got what I want. Why I need to be with this guy? Let me move to the other person. So this is the very unfortunate situation, and Kali Yuga progresses. We will be seeing more and more kind of this prevails everywhere. Mm. So the only solution is that we deeply dive deep into this Krishna consciousness, understand what is our true identity. Mm. Understand our true identity, then we won't get hurt. Because when we actually relate with everyone in a bodily designation, that's where the problem comes. Because I think you are very dear to me, you are my friend, because you have satisfied my senses, you help did all this to me. Okay, but when that friend turns around, then we get very disappointed. All the bodily relations are like that. But when these bodily relationships are even seen in a proper perspective, okay, the Lord has sent this particular person in my life as so and so, as a mother, father, brother, sister, whoever it is. And then I need to do what, in my role as that particular, whatever role I have been given. I need to see how I can serve them rather than what I receive from them. And then because I've been given this opportunity, so let me do what best I can do in a way, keeping the Lord in the center. Then we see that we are not disappointed by any of the relationships in this material world. And our purpose of in this life is also not that to make all the relationships happy and the same. That's not the complete perfection of life. The perfection of life is to actually re-establish our relationship with Krishna, how to love Krishna, deeply, and how I can actually serve Krishna and please Him. That doesn't mean that we want to throw all our relationships. No, not to that extreme of becoming indifferent to all relationships. But at the same time, not to this extreme, thinking that all these relationships are my only thing, how to just make them keep happy. I'll just do all things which make them happy. That's what all about in life I am going to do, nothing else. That's also the other extreme. Rather, understand that the relationships are somewhere, based on whatever karma in my last life, I have got all these relationships. But how I make it more spiritual, keeping the Lord in the center, understanding ultimately that the true relationship, true identity is that I am a servant of Krishna. That is my true identity. And the true relationship is my relationship with Krishna. That is a relationship, is eternal relationships, because all other relationship is for this one lifetime only, one lifetime only. Yet I need to do whatever duty I have to do, keeping the Lord in the center. But if we take out the Lord and just try to relate with everyone, in the bodily platform or a mental platform, forgetting the spiritual platform, then we will be in great trouble. We will be constantly bewildered, constantly disappointed, and then just to one trauma finishes, next one happens. By the time you recover from one, another person will tell you something, or another person will do something, then you will be in trouble. Then other person, the whole life will become like firefighting. That's not life all about. It's all about how can I deepen my relationship with Krishna. What should I do? Sambandha. What is my sambandha? What is the abhidheya? What is the process by which I can re-establish my deeper relationship with Krishna, so that I can achieve the fruit, which is love for Krishna? If that is the goal, then nothing bothers. Even all other things comes, we will take that as a thing where Krishna is teaching a lesson for me. Even in anything happens in our life, situation in our life, because he's my best well-wishing friend. If that situation has come for a purpose, because Krishna is strengthening me, Krishna is trying to make me understand something from that episode, to become more stronger, or my anartha, he's showing some of my anarthas, so I can work out on that anartha, so that I become purified and become a better devotee, a better individual, you know so this is a way to look at it. So that's why it's very, very important that we hear more and more pastimes of the Lord. We chant the name of the Lord. We see the beautiful form of the Lord. We hear and speak the qualities of the Lord. Hear his pastimes, so that we absorb ourselves more in this. If we don't do this more, then there are other things, other gossips, other people throwing things, all other external things. And when we have not equipped ourselves strongly like this, then even a petty thing can bewilder us and weaken us. So we have to be very focused in our goal, not diverted. People will come to divert us, but we should be very, very focused on what we have to achieve. So that's why it's very, very important, this katha, or the pastimes of the Lord. When we absorb ourselves, our faith also increases. How the Lord reciprocates to his loving devotees. That will build our confidence, build our faith in worshipping the Lord. So, in that way, when the faith becomes matures, when the faith matures and matures and matures, ultimately it matures as love for Krishna, prema. So, prema is nothing but it is a condensed faith. When the faith in its full maturity is called prema. But now the faith is like shaking. One small thing, people become, like, oh, oh, really? Is it the right thing I'm following now? Should I really chant my 16 rounds? Should I associate with devotees? Because even devotees talk something here and there. Should I really be in association? All these kind of things comes. So, so this is the nature of the material world we should understand. But we should keep our focus, and when we hear, read, and more about the Lord, our faith will become stronger. It's very important. The basic element is faith. If that faith goes, that's it. The whole, we may construct a big building, but when once the faith collapses, everything will shatter down. So it's very important to protect the faith, to keep up the faith and build the faith, in fact. So that's why it's very, very important that one is, of course, we need to be in the association of those devotees who have the strong faith. Also, we should be constantly hearing the pastimes of the Lord more and more and more. That's why Srimad Bhagavatam, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Bhagavad Gita, all these things we should constantly, all these books we should constantly read every day and hear that our faith becomes solidified. So yeah, so Snana Yatra, coming to Snana Yatra, is a very beautiful pastime of the Lord. We see that the Lord takes bath, Snana Yatra. So, because the Lord is made of, wooden form, Daru, the Lord can assume any form he likes, because as we know, he's the supreme controller. He can decide, okay, I like to come in this form. Just like Matsya, Kurma, the Lord came in a fish form. He came as in the lion form. So the Lord can appear in any form he likes. So he desire to come in this Daru, wooden form. So in wooden form, generally, we can't bear every day, right? Like the Abhishek we do for the Panchaloka deities, we can't do in the Daru form. So in Jagannath Puri, we see the big deities of Lord Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadra, they actually take with a proper water bath once in a year. That's during the Snana Yatra time. So it's a very, very special pastime. So in that time, what they do is that the Lord is brought a day before. It is on a Purnima. Generally, this Purnima Tithi, on the Jeshta, month of Jeshta, the Snana Yatra happens. So the day before Snana Yatra, which is the day before, actually, the Lord comes and sits on the very special mandapa, the Snana Mandap. So the Lord is brought there, and then the Lord, the Lord comes to that Snana Mandapa on the day, and then the actual ceremony happens the next day. That is what they say, that the next day, the actual ceremony of Snana Yatra happens. So then for that, from the special well, they take 108 pots of water, are brought, by the servants of Lord Jagannath, and then that is first kept in the Boga Mandap, where the Boga offerings are done. So from Boga Mandap, then it will be brought to the Snana Mandap. So then this Snana Mandapa, and the Lord Jagannath is also, before when he comes to the Snana Mandap, we see that Pahandi Vijay, just like Lord Jagannath, he comes out of his temple to the Rath cart. That Pahandi Vijay, we see that he dances so nicely. Uh, you know, um, the kartals, the mridangas, and people calling out the name of the Lord, and very beautifully, very gracefully, like a majestic elephant, the Lord dances and comes and sits in the Rath Yatra cart. Similarly, here we see, even to the Bhoga Mandapa, to the Snana Mandapa, the Lord was taken like that in a very ceremonial way. The Lord was brought, the Lord will be brought to the, Snana Mandapa. So then after the Snana Mandap, the Lord will be, given a very ceremonial bath. And because he has given this bath with so many different, fragrant herbs, will be, actually mixed with this water, camphor and, musk and very special herbs. So what happens is, after this, everyone lovingly giving a bath, Lord Jagannath catches a cold. So this is a special pastime, like especially we see in the family, when our near and dear ones get sick, what happens? Our love increases more because we become more anxious. We want to, give more time for them, and then we look after them so, closely, spend more time with them. So that kind of an intimate relationship, kind of service. So basically, Lord Jagannath also, he falls sick, and then that is the time, it is like two in one, because it is mentioned that when Lord Jagannath takes bath, Snanayatra day, those days it is not like the paint what we are now, using the artificial paints. The Lord is painted, so it is like made of many minerals and the natural things. So once the water is poured on the Lord, it actually, the colors comes out. Some of the colors, will come out. So then what happens, the Lord, to see the Lord, one feels very this thing, when all the color coming out. So the Lord also arranges a very sweet pastime. So that time, what happens? They do this special alankar after his bathing is done. He is not dressed in the same way as he's dressed before, but he's dressed in a very different way. And that special alankar is called the, Hati Vesh. Hati is elephant. It's an elephant Vesha. The Lord actually puts different Veshas, different alankars for the Lord. One of the alankar is called the Hati Vesh, quite famous. And this Hati Vesh, because they say that one devotee of Lord Ganesha, he came, he wanted to see Ganeshji, but he could not see Lord Ganesha. And then they said that, oh, this is Rathayatra, this Anayatra happening, you come and see the darshan of the Lord. He was not very keen about it, but yet because he was requested, so he went. But he was disappointed that he couldn't see his favorite Lord. Rather, he saw Lord Jagannath, So then, he was like, so he was there on the Saniyatra. So to make him happy, because he was a very sincere devotee, Lord Jagannath actually assumed this Hati Vesh. He showed darshan in the Hati Vesh as a Ganesh Vesha, also they say. So Lord Jagannath and Balabhadra, they were having the Hati Vesh, and Subhadra Maharani with the lotus Vesha Alankar. So then that person, became very happy. So the Lord is very, because, all the devatas, he is the Lord of all the lords, right? So the Lord can assume any form for a sincere seeker or a sincere devotee. So in that way, the Lord reciprocated to the sincere desire of this devotee. And that's why this Hati Vesha is done. Whenever there is a Snanayatra of Lord Jagannath happens, after that, they offer this Snana Hati Vesh. We see in our temple here in London also. After Snanayatra, the Lord gives darshan Hati Vesh. So it's a very, very special alankar. So then the Lord also then goes for this Anavasara time, which is this 15 days, no darshan, public darshan. So the Lord will be in a special room and he will be nicely taken care. That's where this Sabara community, they come, they serve the Lord so nicely. And also that is a time, that the Lord also gets repainted. And then the day before Rath Yatra is the Lord again comes out to give darshan. That is Netrotsava. They call it as Netrotsava. It is just a day before Rath Yatra. And the Lord looks very effulgent, very, now he is fully recovered from the fever. And then he's, looks very, very beautiful. And then very youthful, darshan he shows to everybody. And then the following day, and they say that if the Netrotsava, which is the 16th day, if a devotee gets a vision of the Lord on that day, all his sins gets washed away. It is the day before Lord Jagannath's chariot festival. Even that Vesha or that day of darshan also is very special. Of course, every day darshan of Jagannath, just seeing Lord Jagannath on any day, one gets so much of blessings because Lord Jagannath eyes are so big. They say that Lord Jagannath never closes his eyelids. There is nothing to close, no eyelids only. Why? Because he's always um, keen protecting his devotees. Wherever his devotees are there, with his big round eyes, he's always looking after them very carefully. That's why Lord Jagannath is Bhakta Vatsala. For this particular form of as Lord Jagannath, you have so many pastimes. Mm. You just open and put in Google, you get um, so many pastimes of Lord Jagannath. We see Rajapur Jagannath also, so many pastimes. So very, very instantly reciprocates Jagannath. So like that, we see, so the 16th day is also very special. And then then Lord Jagannath, actually the Ratha Yatra happens, which is the 17th day. Lord Jagannath sits on the chariot, Balabhadra, Subhadra, together, they are going for this to give blessings to all the devotees. So we are not going to cover Ratha Yatra today, because Ratha Yatra is a very big thing to cover. So we will keep it for the next week, and we will try to speak more on Rath Yatra in Jagannath Puri, then Rath Yatra, the first Rath Yatra in ISKCON, various Rath Yatras, how it's happening, the actual pastime, even before Rath Yatra happened in Jagannath Puri, how this Rath Yatra, this idea of Rath Yatra came, why this Rath Yatra ceremony first of all happening, the original pastime in Vrindavan. So we can see all these things maybe next week. So I thought, I'll just try to cover this, because even Gundicha Marjana is there. That is another big subject, Gundicha Marjana. But it's not just cleansing the Gundicha temple. Lord Jagannath will come, start from Nilachal. He goes to the Gundicha, uh, that temple. You see that before he goes there, the whole temple is cleansed, because Lord Jagannath is going to come and stay. So that is why this Gundicha is a queen, and is an aunt of Jagannath, they say, and he's the Indradumna Maharaj's wife. So that temple also has to be fully cleansed, so Lord Jagannath can come and sit. And that darshan, someone who is taking darshan of Lord Jagannath in Gundicha, that also has got some special blessings. So we will see what are those blessings for those who got this very special darshan in Gundicha. So those pastimes, we may do it next week. But before we close, I would like to hear from you. Is there something comes to your mind, some key points which you could remember about Jagannath, or anything related with Jagannath or this pastime what we discussed? Maybe if you share a few bullet points, that would be really nice. We can recollect. Yeah. So basically, we saw the appearance of Jagannath, King Indradumna Maharaj, how he, constructed the temple, and then how Lord Jagannath came. Instead of Neela Madhava form, he gave darshan in the form of Daru Brahman. So that was the first thing we actually discussed. And then we discussed about this, how Lord Jagannath is a supreme controller, and then we see that in this example of the Garuda Yamaraj pastime. And then a bit about Snana Yatra, what happens during Snana Yatra, the Hati Vesh. We also spoke about how, in our life, when we take shelter of the Supreme Controller, then we can become more peaceful. Because that's why Prabhupada mentions this is a peace formula. If you remember that, you will experience peace. Nowadays we see many people, in this material world, every one of us, in fact, constantly some challenges comes in various forms and shape. So how do we keep ourselves cool, and then carry on with our services and our responsibilities and duties, is to take shelter of the words of the Lord, take shelter of Krishna's name, Krishna's form, Krishna's pastimes, Krishna's instructions. In that way, actually, we become more peaceful. We'll be empowered. We will be able to actually become very focused in achieving our goals. Yeah, that's a message today we discussed. Okay. Anything you like to share? Would be nice to hear a couple of words at least from you. You can use the chat. Or if you have any questions from what we have discussed, maybe a few minutes. Any questions or any comments or anything to share? Everyone there?
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dondat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much.
Any questions? Anything to share? Hare Krishna Mataji. If Krishna always wishes the best for us, why do we pray? Good question. If Krishna, yes, why we are praying? Is it prayer only to solve the problems? Prayer is a way to connect to the Lord, to deepen our relationship with the Lord. And many times you see very great personalities. They never prayed for themselves. They actually prayed for others because they are sure that the Lord is always there to look after them, as you said, because Krishna is the best well-wisher, and they're convinced. They have not an iota of doubt, but they always prayed for others. And even when they prayed for themselves, what they prayed for, they didn't pray for, you know, give me this, give me that. They prayed for Krishna, when will I be able to love you unconditionally? When will all this unwanted anarthas in my heart, vanishes? And when will my heart be filled with love and devotion for you? When will the day come I will be able to serve you selflessly? Uh, when will I become the empowered and pleasing instrument in giving, in sharing your message to everyone, in saving this humankind from this clutches of material existence? So their mood is all for. That's why you see Acharyas, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Lochan Das Thakur, Narottam Das Thakur, Srila Prabhupada. Their prayers is for all the conditioned souls. Prahlad Maharaj also prayed to Lord Nrsingadev. What he prayed for? When he asked, as you said, very beautiful question. Nrsingadev asked, "What do you want?" He said, "I don't want anything. Please don't, please don't, kind of make me ask, inspire me to ask anything because I don't want to become a businessman. Hmm. But I'm asking you one thing because he said that you have to definitely ask something." Then, he said that, my father has done so much of atrocities. He has committed so many sinful activities. He has offended you, my dear Lord. Please forgive him. So this was his prayer. And then he said that, the Lord said, okay, you can come back to my abode. Prahlad, I'm very pleased with you, you know. But he said, no, no, I cannot come back. You please liberate all these fallen conditioned souls in this material world. Let them all come back to your abode, to the spiritual abode. Then I will come at the last. Yeah. So that's a mood of this, all this great Vaishnavas, pure devotees. They prayed. They prayed for taste for the holy name. They prayed, my dear Lord, when will I have thousands of ears and thousands of mouths to relish your holy name? So their prayers are all in connection, asking Krishna's love, or how I can actually become a better instrument in serving you by bringing many, many lost souls to your, lotus feet. So it was not a selfish prayer because they know pretty well that the Lord is there. I am completely taken care of. I hope I answered your question. Thank you for the nice question, Mataji. Okay, how to connect with Krishna deeply in this material world? Yes, nice question again. So, deeply in this material world, we need to have a lifestyle. See, They say a lifestyle management. What kind of life? If we want to be deeply connected, we need to make a plan for a lifestyle plan. What time I'm going to get up, what are the activities I'm going to involve. Because this material world is occupied with so many duties and responsibilities I have. With this, what are the things I need to, add in my life? The most important way or the most powerful way we can connect is chanting the Hare Krishna mantra. Mm. But chanting along with the reading or hearing is actually very powerful. Sometimes we chant and our chanting is like, okay, I have to rush to the work now, or I have some chores, I have to cook now, or many many things comes to the mind. Our chanting has become like a more on like a parrot chanting. There is, sometimes some words we miss, some words in the Hare Krishna, or even one line may get missed, or one bead may get missed. So this kind of chanting, still Krishna says you get a lot of benefits, a lot of blessings, but we can't connect deeply. It is more like superficial. So then to deep connectly, we need to chant attentively, starting with an attentive chanting. Mm. Attentive chanting, what happens is the mind gets more clear. And then together, reading and hearing, what happens is that our faith increases. When the knowledge comes, we become even more stable in what we do. Otherwise, what happens? Only we are chanting and we are not reading, and our chanting is also not very proper. We become more sentimental. Okay, if everything is happening good, I will do. Or if something goes here and there, oh, okay, I don't want to do. But when we hear and read, we see that we become convinced, we become very sound, in following what we are following. We get a special strength, because whatever read in scriptures, we see that again and again it says that you chant the holy name. So it is like it is deepening our faith. Oh, what I'm doing is correct. And when we chant very attentively, what happens is that, when we read the scriptures, we can understand better. If someone is not chanting and reading, their understanding is one level. But someone is chanting, and when they read, their understanding is different. And even for someone who is chanting very attentively, their understanding is far better. So there is a very great connection between chanting, reading, or hearing. Because clouded mind, when I read something, I can't even understand. With a disturbed mind, I hear also, it is not even going here, or something goes here, comes out here. So that's why chanting, reading, and hearing, even we do for 1 month, very sincerely, paka plan. uh, Whatever rounds you have already deeply, Mataji, you're doing, if you're fixed in that and then gradually increase. Prabhupada said 16 rounds. Deeply means that is the formula, 16 rounds, coming to the level of 16 rounds. And then every single day, kind of a goal. Every day I will read 20 minutes or 30 minutes, and I am doing it. The discipline, self-discipline is very important. Even in material life, we want to be successful. Even all the successful people in this world, one of the things, if you note, the secret of their success is they are highly disciplined. No indisciplined person has become successful. Yeah, that is for sure. We all know that. So the same discipline applies in spiritual life also. When we have a discipline for our chanting, when we have a discipline for our hearing and reading, for our, and then we see that we are making a tremendous progress, tremendous. Even 5 page or a person reads a day. In 30 days, a person is reading 150 pages. Just imagine what amount of transformation it can happen. And Prabhupada said, even a few words one reads this book, and we are deeply connecting, because when we read Bhagavad Gita, we are relating with Krishna directly. It's words of Krishna, you know. And Bhagavatam is about Krishna. Oh, wow, Krishna has done this, Krishna has did this. We get deeper and our relationship becomes strong. So one of the most important thing is chanting, reading, and hearing. We may think, okay, let me do this alone. I don't want devotees. No, association of devotees is very important. I tell you, even in association, sometimes we may be praised, sometimes we may be appreciated, sometimes we may be even, uh, g- be disappointed also. But association is powerful. whether it is positive way or a negative way. But we see that we are actually learning a lot of things in association. So we should keep ourselves always in good association, not an association. Sometime, you know, sorry to say, of course, we should respect all the devotees, but our association, our close association should be with those devotees who have that deeper, connection with Krishna, who are self-disciplined, who have this focused goal. When we relate and associate with that kind of devotees, we will also become like that. Like a, iron rod becomes fire, as good as a fire. When it is put in the fire, it becomes as good as a fire. But when we connect ourselves with those who are externally looking like devotees, yeah, we do respect them, but they in the backbiting, talking something, all material things, or talking about this devotee, complaining about this leader, that leader, this is useless, that is useless, these people are like this only. That kind of a people, negative people you connect, your Krishna consciousness is going to go down, sink down. Never hear a gossip. Useless. It is not worth. It is important to associate with people who talk about Krishna, who empowers you to serve Krishna. That kind of an association we should associate with. But at the same time, we are not kind of disrespecting others because they are also in the journey. One day they will also evolve. Yes. So in that way, we can deeply connect. Okay. So many practical, and thank you so much. Okay. Garuda, Yamaraj, pastime tells us that we are not the controllers. Many times, I think I'm the controller from this session. I will try not to control situations. Thank you so much for the explain, answer, chanting, but we'll start reading the books as well and discipline. Thank you, Mataji. Excellent session. Thank you so much, Lalita Mataji. Thank you, devotees. Thank you for your patience. And coming Wednesday is Lord Jagannath's Snana Yatra. So at least a little bit I spoke about Snana Yatra. It's a birthday of Jagannath, they say. It's the appearance day of Jagannath. So it's very nice. This Wednesday, if you get an opportunity, you can see, of course, online, you can see Jagannath Snana Yatra Darshan. Or if you have a picture of Jagannath in your home, then try to offer something which is very dear to Lord Jagannath. Lord Jagannath loves to eat. So you can make some nice preparations, especially if you can Google and see some Orient dishes, because Jagannath Puri, they offer very special Orient dishes. Rasagullas, Jagannath loves rasagullas. Mangoes, Jagannath. Oh, you're not able to get time to cook. If you can offer some mangoes to Lord Jagannath, if you can offer some flowers to Jagannath, if you can offer some prayers to Jagannath with a lot of love and with sincerity, Jagannath will be pleased. Or that they hear about the glories of Jagannath. Chant your 16 rounds very nicely. And so many things we can do. So we are making an effort. Oh, Lord Jagannath, I am trying to do this small thing or whatever for your pleasure. So you have one day left. Tomorrow is Tuesday. You can plan. Okay, what am I going to do this Wednesday for Lord Jagannath's Snana Yatra? What am I going to do? What way I'm going to please him? So that would be very nice. Yeah. Thank you so much. I'll quickly give Jagannath Darshan. Thank you for all of your wonderful participation. Hare Krishna, Jai Jagannath.
Hare Krishna
Hare
Mataji. Thank
Hare
you so
Krishna
much.
Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Hare Krishna devotees, you can have darshan of Lord Jagannath. Can you see?
Hare Bol Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Yes. Shri Jagannath Baladev Subhadra Maharani Sudarshan Chakra ki
Jai.
jai. Shishi Gornitai ki jai. Panchatattva ki jai. Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Nitai Gaura Premanande Hari
Hare
Hari
Bol.
Bol. Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, and we will see you next week. Jai Jagannath. Hari Bol.
Jai
Hare
Jagannath.
Krishna.
Thank you
Thank you
so
so much.
much.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna.
Jai
Thank
Jagannath.
you. Thank you. So,